Dan walked into his interview confidently. He taught for 5 years and he knew his stuff. But then the head teacher asked, "So how do you build classroom culture from day one?" And Dan froze. His mind went blank. He hadn't prepped for that. That taught him something that most candidates learn far too late. Experience? Well, it just isn't enough. You need to prepare smart. So today, we're showing you exactly how to do that, so you don't make the same mistakes that Dan did. Hi everyone, I'm Zoe from My Progression, and today we're tackling something that every teacher, no matter how experienced, can find a bit daunting. Interviews. Regardless of your experience, preparation is key. So, in this video, we'll look at 6 common areas of interview questions, and I'll be sharing my top 3 tips for each one to help you feel prepared, calm, and confident. In part 2 of this video series, we'll then be putting these top tips into practice and showing you how to answer these common interview questions. These tips are all tried and tested. They've come from teachers who have had 100% success rates in interviews. We've taken these questions from Tapp, an app that asks over 10,000 teachers research questions each day. The article is linked in the description of this video for you to read after watching. The 6 common topic areas for teaching interviews are motivation and fit, teaching and learning, behaviour and relationships, safeguarding and inclusion, teamwork and culture, and reflection and development. Now, a lot of interview guides will tell you what to say. However, your answers need to be genuine, representing your values and your teaching practice. If you don't agree with the interviewer's viewpoint, maybe it's just not the school for you. So, let's jump into our example questions. Firstly, let's look at motivation and fit. These questions are all about your why. Why you teach, why this school, and why this role right now. Typical questions might include: why do you want to work at this school? Why have you applied for this role at this time in your career? And what values are most important to you in a school community? So, my top tips when answering questions about motivation and fit are: number 1, do your research. Look at the school's website, Ofsted reports, and social media. Find something specific you genuinely connect with and reference it in your answer when discussing your motivations to work at the school. Next, be personal. Talk about what motivates you as an educator, whether it's inclusion, creativity, raising aspirations, or community impact. And top tip number 3, connect your values. Link your ethos and values to the school's. Show that you're not just looking for a job, you're looking for this job. Using the school's website to find out what the school's values are a great way to start. Number 2, let's now discuss teaching and learning. These questions explore your approach to classroom teaching and how you help pupils make progress. Typical questions could include: what does a great lesson look like to you? Tell us about a lesson that didn't go well. What did you learn from that? And what is your approach to planning for progression across a sequence of lessons? So my top tips when answering questions about teaching and learning are: firstly, focus on impact. Talk about how your teaching helps pupils learn, not just what activities you use. Give examples of progress that pupils have made and how you supported them in achieving this. This could range from moving up in the phonics banding to achieving a 7 in GCSE writing. Number 2, show reflection. When something hasn't gone well, focus on how you adapted and what you learned. Teaching is all about self-reflection, and school leaders love hearing about growth and how you can adapt quickly in the classroom when something isn't going quite as planned, which, let's face it happens to the best of us. And top tip number 3, be evidence-informed. Give tangible examples about how you use strategies linked to research or best practice. Include teaching methods like retrieval practice, scaffolding, and modelling. Ensure that you're using educational terminology to show your understanding. For example, talk about active learning and independence within pupils of all ages. It's so important. Okay, now we're going to move on to number 3, behaviour and relationships. These questions are all about how you manage your classroom and build positive relationships with pupils. Typical questions regarding behaviour and relationships could include: How do you build positive relationships with students? What does good behaviour look like in your classroom and how do you achieve it? Or describe a time you had to manage an incident of challenging behaviour. Some of my top tips when discussing behaviour and relationships include: firstly, highlight the importance of consistency. Talk about routines, using a calm tone, and setting clear expectations from day one. When discussing behaviour management and building relationships, include the importance of using praise and planned rewards, not only sanctions. As well as this, be relational. Emphasise respect, fairness, and restorative approaches. Regardless of the school you're working in, all pupils respond best when they feel seen and heard. Pupils need to see you as someone they can connect with, who understands them and who will treat them fairly compared to their peers. Being relational means mutual respect between pupils and teachers by showing the pupils that you understand their world. And top tip number 3, stay proactive. Mention how engaging lessons, relationships and praise help prevent behaviour issues before they start. Give examples of how you're always one step ahead and using engaging starters and activities to keep your pupils busy the minute they enter your classroom. If you're enjoying this video so far and finding the content useful for interview preparation, hit like, subscribe and click on the bell so you never miss new content from My Progression. The fourth area is a vital topic to be confident in your teaching interview. This is safeguarding and inclusion. This is one of the most important sections. Your interviewers will be listening carefully here to check your understanding of safeguarding. Typical questions regarding safeguarding and inclusion could be: so how would you respond if a child in your class made a disclosure to you? What does inclusion look like in your classroom? Or how do you support pupils with SEND or EAL? It's important to be sharp on safeguarding and inclusion. This is a priority in schools, and as we all know, it's everyone's responsibility. Therefore, my top tips include: firstly, know the procedure. Be crystal clear when it comes to safeguarding disclosures. Listen, reassure, don't promise confidentiality, and report immediately to the designated safeguarding lead. It's important that you recognise who the DSLs or DSOs are within your setting and that you can explain how you would record safeguarding concerns and disclosures. Next, be practical about inclusion. Mention simple, effective strategies such as scaffolding, visual aids, flexible groupings, or chunked instructions, which is breaking a list of tasks down into individual points. And as well as this, you need to show empathy and awareness. We know that inclusion isn't just about differentiation within the classroom, it's about belonging. Describe how you create an inclusive environment where every pupil feels valued. Equity is really good to discuss here, which is taking a bespoke approach to each child regarding their individual needs. As a one-size-fits-all angle, it just doesn't work here. For more information on safeguarding, check out our 3-part CPD accredited series, detailed in the description below. This series will take you through different definitions, how to handle disclosures, and your responsibilities. This will prepare you for a wide range of safeguarding questions in an interview. Our 5th area we're going to discuss is teamwork and culture. These questions are all about how you'll fit into and contribute to the wider school community. Typical questions you might be asked include: what makes an effective team and how do you contribute towards one? How do you support positive staff culture? And what role does feedback play in your development and how do you respond to it? My top tips are: be collaborative. Talk about how an effective team shares resources and there's mutual support between colleagues. If you're aiming for a leadership role, give specific examples of how you've supported your team in the past and what makes you not only a team player, but also a respected leader. As well as this, be positive. Schools love staff who lift each other up and radiate positivity and motivation. It's so important here to not only say but show how you create a supportive, professional atmosphere through your enthusiasm and energy throughout the interview. And top tip number 3, tell them how you embrace feedback. Describe how you use feedback for growth and a constructive tool for improvement. Regardless of how long you've been in teaching, feedback is always valuable and not seen as criticism, as teaching is an ever-changing role where there is always an opportunity to progress. And finally, area number 6, reflection and development. This is about your mindset, how you keep improving and stay inspired in your teaching. Typical questions could include: how do you reflect on your teaching to make improvements? What's one area of your practice you've improved recently? Or how do you stay professionally up to date and inspired? My top tips in this area include: firstly, be honest and reflective. Everyone's developing. We all have things we find easier than others. There's always going to be parts of the job we love and parts we need more practice on. Showing awareness of your growth areas is a strength and not a weakness. Another top tip: talk about how you reflect. After lesson reflections are vital. Talk about how you take notes after lessons, meaningful discussions you have with colleagues, or the benefits of reviewing your pupils' work to check their understanding. And finally, top tip number 3, stay curious and eager to learn. Reference how you engage with CPD, books, podcasts, or teacher networks to keep ideas fresh. Use examples of specific YouTube accounts that you're subscribed to and CPD that you've completed, like my progression. If you're not engaged in CPD, then now is the time to start. So, whether you're preparing for your first teaching interview or your 10th, it's vital to remember that success comes from preparation and being reflective. You don't need to sound perfect, you just need to sound your real and authentic self. Schools are looking for teachers who care about their pupils, who think deeply about their practice, and who want to grow. So, practice those answers, focus on your why, and walk into that interview with strong examples, knowing exactly what you would bring to their school staff. Want to see how to use these top tips as answers? Keep your eyes peeled for part 2 of this video, where we'll be modelling some real answers for questions on these 6 topics. I've been Zoe from My Progression. Let's keep your career in motion.